there, but just a little bit to the right. I guess I would advise manual plus, I don't know, spend some time in Sequelium trying to do image comparison, but good luck.
That means the basic use case scenario is your iPad, right? When you hold it in a landscape mode, it renders differently. When you hold it in a portrait mode, your login box shifts to right or something.
Yeah, that's definitely not Selenium's plan. How the browser renders, moving the mobile device to the right or to the left, and how it renders there, definitely not Selenium's plan. I've seen something in the mobile testing Selenium meetup like a month ago, actually, a guy talking about Frank. They managed to make the iPhone switch and check that stuff. They still didn't check the visual styling, but they checked that the DOM is there. Nowadays, there's nothing really smart that I would recommend other than have a guy, after you have like 99.95 of your tests made with Selenium, you will leave this 1% to a guy that spent 25 minutes going through the app and testing the visuals and making sure that it doesn't look bad, because that's the only thing that Selenium can do, visuals and how the DOM is displayed in the browser. It's going to be way more efficient than spending 2 years trying to make a library. Hopefully someone does it, but
because
if you want to get
huge
things
set
up.
of device profiles, so means we take it like there is a lot of device profiles, like 14,000 device profiles out there.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be a headache. I heard that Google has a mobile devices wall. They have all their phones in a wall, and if you want to test something, you can just go to one of their phones and test it. I don't know. It's no real solution nowadays for it. I hope there will be in the future. I'm pretty sure there will, but.
Which version of Selenium would you recommend to use for like Oracle-based web browser? Like
Sorry?
For example,
Oracle?
Yeah.
Oracle browsers?
Like OBIEE application.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Like
Definitely. So the question is, which Selenium version would you use to recommend mobile browsers and things like that?
Right.
Which Selenium version? Always the latest. Always use Selenium 2. Start moving your tests to Selenium 2. Selenium 1, it's pretty good. I know a lot about it, but reality is that everything is happening in Selenium 2 land. It makes developers write better tests by importing this web element principle. And it's also working really hard into supporting iPhone, Android. And the last meetup, again, Jason made a presentation of Selenium tests running on an Android phone, a real Android phone, like put it in the middle of the webcam and showing everyone that it was driving the browser. You can do emulators. Definitely Selenium 2 is the way to go. Even if OB or the Nokia browser is not supported, there's way more chances that it will happen in Selenium 2 land. Selenium 1, it's not dead. We're maintaining it, but it's not actively developed at all. There's no more features there. We're just moving everyone to the new browser automation of the future.
But actually IE support, like Oracle application, always better support in IE, not Firefox. So
Oh, I see what you mean.
Some functions will not work.
Oh, these awesome frameworks that only work in IE6. I've worked with those. I love them so much. Yeah, I guess Selenium 2 support for IE is pretty good, actually. They do a lot of stuff natively, which means the click is not going to be done using JS. It's going to be done using like the real OS level click events sent to the browser, which is way more robust than Selenium. Selenium does this hackery with JS, trying to trigger all the events that it can that could replicate a click by a user. But reality is that I've been in all these situations in which the click won't work. If you do it by hand, it works. If you do it with Selenium, it won't. It's probably because the framework that they're using is not listening for the right event. And you got to do all this crazy stuff like triggering mouse down, then focus out, then triggering mouse up, then focusing again. And you end up writing like this huge, that you will call click element now. And that will be your click. That will work with your application. That's pretty bad. It's not maintainable at all. So my advice would be try Selenium 2. It does things better, and it will be a solution, hopefully.
Question about developing with Firebug. Our application uses a lot of dynamic HTML and a lot of masks that come out for a fraction of a second. I want to catch them. Is there an easier way than just staring at Firebug when it highlights yellow for a second and trying to figure out what it is? Because I can't just go through the list. There's a lot of them. I don't know which one comes up.
I see what you mean. So you're saying developing or trying to write my test using Firebug, I gotta find this element that comes and goes all the time in the DOM. It will suddenly appear in the DOM and then disappear, and you're not fast enough to click on it and really see what's it's built of.
Or different.
Huh. I don't really know if I have an answer for that, other than understand the JavaScript beneath your app and hack around it. Try to make your app, just move your app yourself. You will know that, you will find out that this element that comes and goes all the time appears because someone calls JavaScript. So you can probably just call that JavaScript function yourself using Firebug, and you would bring it up. If you just want to see it and know which one it is, you can just write a CSS rule yourself that you can inject in Firebug and be like, I want the element with this location to be green and big. So when it comes up, you'll just see it pretty clearly instead of having to look in the DOM in Firebug.
But more important, I want to see the DOM, the inspect DOM.
Oh, you really want to see
And
the DOM?
If I'm looking at it, it comes up, it highlights the DOM for a second. It shows you what it is.
But it disappears. At this point, my best advice would be first use Sauce Labs because there's a video of it and you can pause it. Second would be, what's I gonna say? Oh, talk to your developers. If you can, I always advise developers and testers sit next to each other. If you really gotta figure out, you don't have to fight against the application and how complex it is and how challenging it is. You always have the guy that wrote it probably next to you if it's in another building or another country or you can't communicate with him. You will find a way to talk to them, but it will definitely save you months maybe of trying to work around this and find the right way to do it by yourself. Even though it's fun, it's not productive. I've done it several times. And it's, if you can always go and talk to the guy and be like, hey, I gotta find this element, it will be, oh, I wrote that. This is the element. And that'll be it. So communication between testers and developers nowadays is crucial. I hate the word agile, but I don't know if there's a word that represents that better. But yeah, try to be agile and talk to your developers and stuff.
Nimble instead of agile.
And I said nimble instead of agile? That's, yeah, of course, let's change it to nimble. Until that is a buzzword, and then we'll have to change it again. I just don't want any certifications around this word.
I was wondering when you're constructing your CSS locator, and you can identify an element just with a particular class, and there's no ID for the element. It's kind of further up the tree. Is it useful to provide that ID that's further up the tree?
Yeah, that's kind of connected to your question too. Long locators versus short ones. If I already have let me rephrase the question so that everyone in the video can hear it. You said, if I already have a unique locator that is class-based for my element, but further up the tree I found an ID element, which would be even more robust, just in case the class changes in the future, the DOM changes and the class is removed. Should I use that and make my locator a little bit longer but maybe more robust? The answer is always it depends. It depends on how your application is moving, how much your developers are willing to change that class or not. I would say yes. I would just always try to start from an ID and then just do relative child space and then the other one. But it really depends on the case. It's always the situation in which you are. If your application is under super active development, it started last week, and it's going to be like that for months, maybe you should not start writing your locators right now, and you should just wait and build your Selenium framework. There's a lot of ways to take it, and different companies do it in different ways, and they all could work.